Come on, you know it's gonna be a serious video if I got the desk in standing position. Hey, what's up guys? I'm BJ Dell, and I've talked about how to make money with your art for years here on my YouTube channel, as well as on my podcast, which just so happened to be called Make Money with Your Art. From print-on-demand sites like Merch by Amazon, to book publishing using KDP, even tips on starting an art channel here on YouTube, I've covered a ton of different ways you can turn your art into streams of income that can put cash into your pocket. But one of the easiest, most profitable ways to make money with your art, I've talked about it here on the channel before, it's all about selling digital downloads. So in today's video, with the year almost being over, I thought I would pull back the curtain and show you what's possible with digital downloads by sharing what I've made so far this year on two sites, Etsy and Gumroad. I'm also gonna break things down, make them super simple, and give you my two basic, most important tips when starting to sell digital downloads to potential customers. Hopefully this video can inspire you going into the new year and maybe spark some creativity as well, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so first off, what are digital downloads? Very simply put, a digital download is a virtual product that you sell. The item's delivered to the customer through a download, usually on the site that they make the purchase from. So there's no physical product, there's no physical inventory, there's no need to ship anything out at all. These downloads, they can be a lot of different things. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second, but for me personally, my main two digital downloads are digital brushes for apps and programs like Procreate and Photoshop, and then also clip art. I sell digital downloads on a lot of different sites, but my top two sites are Etsy and Gumroad. So let's go ahead, take a look at what I made in the past 12 months on each of those sites. All right, so the first one I'm gonna pull up is Etsy, which is actually the lower of these two sites. The reason that is because all my traffic that I get from social media or YouTube, I direct it to Gumroad because the seller fees at my level are actually lower on there. Obviously, I wanna have lower fees, so that's where I'm gonna send people if I send them anywhere. But let's pull up Etsy. I'm on yesterday right now, so let's scroll over to this year. And right now on Etsy, I've made $17,015. That's on Etsy. That's the lower of the two, $17,015. Now let's go over to Gumroad. I've got analytics pulled up. We'll switch over to years. So the last 12 months on Gumroad, I've made $85,465.65. So let's add those two up. 85,465, yeah. Plus 17,015, whoops. 17,015. So that's $102,480.65 for the year. Now, one thing to keep in mind here too, that is actually just two of the sites that I sell digital downloads on. That's not every single site that I offer those on. That also doesn't take into account my other streams of income. So that doesn't include Merch by Amazon. That doesn't include KDP, that doesn't include YouTube, it doesn't include my Glowforge business, and it doesn't include my new company, Prodraw, which if you haven't heard, yes, I launched a new company last month. That's not included in there either. So shameless plug for Prodraw, but this actually does tie into the topic of today's video. Prodraw is a company that I launched last month, and we make drawing supplies for digital artists. Our first product out of the gate is the Prodraw grip for the Apple Pencil. You know you want one, you know you need one, the link's in the description below. But the reason why this ties into today's topic is because, like I said with the digital downloads, there's no inventory that you have to carry with those. They're not physical products like this. Likewise, the overhead is non-existent. Really, the only thing you need is whatever you're gonna use to make that digital product on. So if it's an iPad or a laptop or a computer, which in most cases you probably already have, which you have everything you need then to make that digital product. With something like this, there's overhead, there's risk. It took a lot of money to bring this to market. So we had, of course, the fees for research and development. We had the fees for the prototyping and the mold making. We had the fees for actually manufacturing, and then of course, shipping here. We also had to pay fees for the packaging and then also the legal fees for lawyers. There's a lot that goes into launching something like this, which you don't have to worry about with digital downloads. Like I said, I do digital brushes and clip art. Those are kind of my main two go-tos for digital downloads, but seriously, there are so many different possibilities out there that you can use. The key is to offer digital downloads based around your interests and your strengths. So let's say you're not the best artist, you dabble in art, but you don't think you're good enough to sell clip art. Maybe you're into photography. You could sell Lightroom presets. Let's say instead of Procreate, you're more comfortable with Photoshop. You could sell Photoshop actions to save the customer time. If you're good with lettering, you can teach yourself how to make fonts. There's always a massive market out there for those. And just a few more ideas. You could do Zoom backgrounds. Gumroad's heavily geared towards business, so there's opportunities to sell digital planners and scheduling worksheets. You could even do templates, so email templates for marketers or resume templates. If you're good with graphic design, you could offer branding kits for social media influencers that they could send out to potential sponsors. You could even make flashcards for teachers to use in the classroom, or parents that homeschool their kids could use them. Or if you're into sewing, you could make patterns for customers to buy. So this one I like, and it really drives home the benefits and the idea behind these digital downloads. So my oldest daughter, she loves to crochet. She's on Etsy all the time and spends a ton of money on these digital downloads of crochet patterns. So the person offering these crochet patterns, if they weren't offering these and they were instead just offering the end product that they were making, it's gonna take a lot of time to do that. It's gonna take a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get all of those sent out and made. Instead, this is passive. Once that person has that crochet pattern done, they put it up and that's it. They don't have to make anything. They don't have to ship anything. It gives you a lot of freedom doing digital downloads. Like I said, you don't have any products. You don't have to ship anything out. You can take days off. You don't have to be constantly making something to make money. This is very passive, and it's a freeing thing to have these digital downloads to rely on as a source of income. So there you go, just a few examples to kind of get you started on the right path. Of course, you don't necessarily have to use any of those. You don't have to do the digital brushes or the clip art either. Like I said earlier, really just build these digital downloads based around your strengths, build them based around your interests. Things you know, things that could benefit other people, that's what you want to identify, which actually leads me into my two most simple tips when starting out to sell digital downloads. So tip number one is offer a product that benefits the buyer. So when I first started YouTube, the whole idea behind my channel was basically to make videos that the viewer would find beneficial. It would give them a benefit by watching the video in one of two ways. And number one was my drawing lessons, my drawing tutorials that I do here on YouTube. So to help develop the drawing skills for artists. And then number two, videos like this. I wanted viewers to find beneficial information as far as making a career in art, how to make money with your art. That was the idea behind my YouTube channel, to provide those two pieces of benefits. So I know most YouTubers, once they start getting a following, they start getting those views and subscribers, they want to offer merch. They do merch drops of t-shirts. Other artists are out there that also do that, as well as art prints. And for me, and based around what I wanted to do with my channel, that's not something that I've done before because I don't think that benefits the viewer in any way. I know a lot of you out there are artists who are either looking to learn those drawing lessons, those drawing tutorials, or you're looking to learn from videos like this, and me selling you a t-shirt of a cool drawing on it is not going to benefit you in any way. It's going to help support me, but it's not going to benefit you. And that's what the idea behind the channel is. And that's what the idea behind anything I offer on the channel is. Instead of pushing t-shirt sales or selling art prints, instead, in my videos, I talk about my brushes that I sell. It's the brushes that I use in my video. So it shows the viewers the benefits of the brushes. They can see them in real time. If they purchase them, they can use them in their own work, which is then going to benefit them. That's the whole idea. I want my channel to benefit the viewer, and that's the same way that I approach the digital downloads that I sell. Be sure whatever you're making, it has a benefit to the buyer. Know your buyer, know why they're buying it, know why they should buy it, and know what kind of value it's going to provide to them in the end, which actually brings us to the next tip. So tip number two, show the value to the potential buyer. So back to me using the brushes in my videos. Of course, that shows how the brushes work. It lets the viewer know this is what you can do with them. them. It lets them know this is what I do with them, and it shows the value they can expect from the brushes. The other added value to my brush packs too is I always include a tutorial video that comes with them. So I talk about this in the announcement video, but also on like Gumroad and Etsy. I'll talk about this in the listing and say, hey, with the purchase of these brushes, you also get a video tutorial that walks you through how to use them, how to get the most out of them. Sometimes it's half an hour, 45 minutes. Sometimes it's over an hour, hour and a half worth of videos. And once again, that just adds value to the customer. If they look at a set of brushes and they have to just kind of wing it and learn how to use them, they're gonna feel left out in the cold. They're not gonna get the same results that they're seeing in the splash pages there for the advertising. So knowing that they get a video that kind of holds their hand and shows how to use every single thing in the pack, that goes a long way to building value too. Also, with my brushes and my clip art, I do include commercial rights with those. And I think that goes a long way as far as providing value in the customer's eyes. There's a lot of sellers on Etsy that offer clip art super cheap, but it's only personal use. If you want commercial use, then you have to go to the shop and buy an extra license for that. And then that license, you only get so many end products. So you have to keep track of how many you sell. Then you've got to renew the license. And I know that turns a lot of customers off. Removing any of that confusion or extra steps is a really easy way to build value. And it also builds confidence and trust in you as a seller from that potential buyer as well. The other thing I like to do, not only with the clip art, but also my stamp packs, is to show final designs on end products. So it really builds value in the customer's eyes too, to see, oh, that's right, this comes with commercial rights, so I can put this on t-shirts, I can put this on tote bags, I can put this on mugs or on coloring books or stickers. It really drives home the point that yes, you can use these things commercially, and here's some ideas to get you started. So that's it for today's video. Hopefully the takeaways today are, number one, there's a lot of opportunities out there with digital downloads and a lot of money to be made. I showed you what I made this past year, so hopefully that inspires you. Number two, when you make digital downloads, build them to your strengths. Number three, make a digital download that benefits the customer and know that customer. And number four, be able to show the customer the value in what you offer. That's it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments, what are you gonna try to offer your customers next year? Is there one digital download that you really wanna focus on going into 2023? Want to get this video out in December just so you could start thinking about this going into the new year to make some resolutions, and maybe leaving it down in the comment section will give you the accountability you need to take action in 2023. Like I said earlier, I've made a ton of videos on the topic of making money with your art, so I'll leave a link to the playlist down below for that. Also, Make Money with Your Art, the podcast, I'll link that down below too. Haven't done it in a couple of years, but there's over 20 episodes. All the information is still relevant, so definitely check that out. And finally, buy a Prodraw grip. Until next time, keep creating. Hey.